Welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. We are brewing solutions in this Rise of the Solutionary series, Volume 4. Get you some of this five-liner with Rudy Treminio, Patronn. Let's brew.
Hey, car guys and car gals, welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. We are here together with not just the subprime hero and not just the car guy, but we have Patronn up in the building. He's over there in Queens making things happen, moving metal, solving problems. But I am excited because we are still on this series of the Rise of the Solutionaries. And here we are, talking with somebody who's really making things happen and brewing solutions in his world. Fred, I know you're excited to have Patronn on the show today.
Oh, dude, no doubt. I've been a fan of his since I started watching social media stuff. You know, everything he does is a game changing. You know, that's just like his book, Game Changer. If y'all ain't got it, y'all missing out. We'll talk about that later. But, I mean, he is inspirational. He can't, I mean, like his book says, he went from a jail cell to $500,000 in car sales. I mean, $500 million, pardon me, in car sales. Unbelievable story, man.
And I got the numbers to back it up.
Oh, I know you ain't lying. Trust me, I know you ain't lying. There's no doubt. That's why we have you on the show, man. You are definitely a game changer. So excited, man. You have so many things I could put behind your title, man. You obviously you're an owner. You've helped make 7 different dealerships, maybe 8 now. Is that where you're at?
This is number 7.
Okay, 7 different dealerships where you're taking them from nothing to something, man. Even during this time, you're doing stuff around your area that no one else is doing. Man, I am honored to have you here.
It is an honor.
Yes, sir, man. So how you doing today, Mr. Patronn?
Pleasure. No, we here. You know, we're grinding. I have some appointments today. I got my guys working remotely, and they got me like 3 applications already so far. So my F&I is already working on that. So, you know, opportunity. You know, some people say greed, but it's there's a high in demand right now. There is people. The leads are coming in faster than we can get to it. And you know what? Somebody got to communicate to these people, unfortunately, in this situation. But some people are seeing the benefit of it, right? Taking advantage of the situation. And somebody got to be there too. And the local guys, I guess they're just close, and, you know, it's okay. Oh, yeah. My days go quick. I can tell you that, quicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, what I've come to find during this time is that there's the real, like, character of people are showing, whether it's your business and whether it's your salespeople, whatever it is. If you're the type of person who learns to evolve and change the game a little bit, you understand what need to be done right now, and you're doing that, and that's awesome. But then you see the people who just lay down, you know.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm just gonna wait for this to blow over.
I'm a grinder, just like you guys. You know, I wake up every day, and I can't just sit home and just, you know, let's just write it out. Nah, man, that's not me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got my mask, I got my gloves, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm following protocol, and if customers do come in, we have to wear a mask. We have to, you know, do the social distance thing. So that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But there's still opportunity out there to make it happen.
It's a great opportunity. Great opportunity. And when we have these great opportunities, solutionaries always find a way to rise. I got Fred that was making fun of me saying, man, you're going to get on this show and all of that New York accent's going to come out of you, Lou. Yeah, he's going to be clowning me like crazy just because I'm excited to have somebody that speaks my language. We're down here in Kentucky, and obviously I don't sound like them. I've been here most of my life, but I'm from your neck of the woods. I'm probably, let me see, your Sunrise Chevy, is that off Sunrise Highway? Okay.
No, it's Forest Hills.
So you're 1-2 train stops from me. I'm from Rosedale Valley Stream area.
Okay.
And I mean, really just excited to have somebody that's so right there in my neck of the woods. I'm excited because I got a couple of dozen bagels that are going to be on the way that we ordered from Melville. So I'm really excited about it. But when we come up, next time I come upstate, we got to go get a slice of pizza and talk about, you know, solving problems and stuff.
Let's do it. I'm down.
We are so excited to have him on the show. Car guys, car gals, those of you that know us or see any of our videos or see any of our pictures and some of our time with our salespeople on the lot, you'll often say, man, what's up with these guys? You know, just looking at the way that we dress. We have car buying coaches is what it is that we call our salespeople. And so we're always running a team type atmosphere. But I'm representing Queens today, making sure that my brother knows that, I'm all about some NYC, and my heart goes out to everybody that's out there right now. But sometimes you got to adjust your uniform to your company. So give me 1 second, folks.
Hey, because you're always so fly, man. I had, normally I interview in like a hoodie or something, but because you are you're self-proclaimed flyest dresser in the car biz.
I'm the original, bro.
So Lou had to throw on his jacket
shit,
too.
He got back.
He's back.
I love it.
Opposite,
I love it.
Yeah. So we're honored to have you here, buddy. For real.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure.
Excited.
I love what you guys are doing, and anytime to get on and chop it up for you guys, it's a pleasure for sure.
Oh man, whenever you have your Game Changer conference, man, we'll be down there. We'll shake hands, and I'm gonna get this book signed. I'm gonna get this signed by you, bro.
No doubt.
That's a goal of mine. All right, so we're gonna get into this 5-liner. It's 5 quick questions that we're gonna ask you. Some of them are personal, some of them are general, but answer it the best you can.
I'm an open book, so ask away. I'm an open book.
I know you definitely, dude. There's no doubt. I know all the answers.
You know already. You know most of it right there.
Yeah, I do. I probably know all the answers already. Yeah, no doubt. You gave it all up, and that's awesome. What's up, Lou?
1 second. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Do you know what's supposed to happen first things first, car guys and car gals? And all you that
I'm
are
with
listening?
you, my friend. My bad.
We have somebody new on the show, and we don't have a proper intro until we make sure to drop our 3 Fs out there. So El Patronn and all that are listening or watching, we run by a mantra that is always 100% making sure that we can accomplish great things by doing 3 Fs. And that's forgive, focus, and fly. So I'm going to need El Patronn to jump in with us because we got some places we need to fly. The rise of the Solutionaries are here. On 3, everybody. 1, get your hands on your shoulders because we're going to wipe that unforgiveness off. Forgive yesterday. Forgive bad people. Forgive yourself. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive. Focus. And fly.
Fly.
All right.
That's right.
Car guys, let's get on with this 5-liner.
All right, here we go, man. I ask the same question to everybody when I start this 5-liner off. Okay. What is your why? What is your purpose? What keeps you motivated?
My kids, man. I wake up every day, and I do it for them. You know the book, and you read the book, and you know what happened. And I never want my kids to go through that again. And every day I wake up, I remember those things, and there's a lot of things that keep you up at night, right? Sometimes, and I sleep pretty well. I'm not saying that I have a problem sleeping, but you wake up, right, and it's all worth it at the end because when you go out there, when you realize what family has done for me. You see, I come from a broken family. My mom left me when I was 6 years old, so I never really had that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Never had the kids. Nobody sent me to church every Sunday. Nobody did those things, dinners and things like that. So that togetherness for me, it's like the ultimate goal. If I do all this and my kids resent me, then I did it for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? So I want to create that atmosphere where my kids, there's no secrets, right? They tell me everything. And right now, I'm going through more connections with them since we moved, and because I have more time with them, right? And that connection is there, and I want them to be there throughout the whole time when they get a lot older and stuff like that. So my why is my kids, man. My kids and my family. That's why I wake up every day and do it. And go harder and harder.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a powerful,
how many do you have?
why.
I have 4.
4, just like me. Man, Hispanics keep it real, baby.
Yeah, we trying to we actually trying to adopt one right now. A little 4-year-old that's been living with us for 2 years. So yeah. So we're shooting for the 5th one.
It'll happen, man. Congratulations and all that, man. Man, you're blessed with a huge family and a beautiful family. One thing that you do is you honor them all the time with social media.
Yes,
you do it the right way. You could tell they love you. You could tell they have fun on video with you. You get them involved in your workouts. Dude, it's really, really, really cool what you have. You have a beautiful family. Same thing with me and Lou. That is basically exactly what we would say if you asked us what our why was. You know what I mean?
Also, if I may add, we don't have albums anymore, right? And I always say that to people. How can I not document this to show my kids later on? You know what I mean? So, and now it's like every day is like a thing. We go to memories, and I show them where we were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and it's like a thing that we have that we go back to memories, and we see what we were doing on that day. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing, and how can you not document it? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, believe it or not, that's kind of like how they relate to me, because they relate to me either through my kids or I'm doing something with them. So it's important for me to show them that side of me as well. You know what I mean?
No doubt about it, man. And you do a very good job about it. That's what
That's
inspires
the best accountability is our kids.
Yep.
By all means.
One of my favorite things to tell my employees, or my teammates, as I call them, hey, if your son or your daughter was sitting right next to you and they watched you all day long, would they think you work hard, or would they think my dad's pretty lazy? And if you can honestly answer that question as a hard worker, then you should feel good about yourself. But if not, think about what you're doing. Always use that, and I use it all the time.
Because people don't realize that your kids are not going to do what you tell them. They're going to do what they see you do at the end of the day. All right. So look, right now they're into content. They see how their dad does content, how important content is. They come to the dealership, right? They used to go to Brooklyn a lot, and they used to see how I used to just produce massive videos, right? And TikTok is taking over the kids' world, right? And it's like you see they're creating their own personality. It's like, how do you take them away from that? You cannot deprive them from that. You know what I'm saying? That's the era that we live in. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. So you either embrace it, you got to put some ground rules, and move on with it. But they're pretty funny themselves, man. They have some good characters.
No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I love watching them on camera. You do a great job. You don't overdo it. It's just like it's classy. It's perfect. You know what I mean? And it definitely, I feel like I know you because of it. And then, like I said, after reading your book, I definitely know a lot more about you, man. So my second question is I know this answer. Where did you grow up?
I came from humble beginnings, man. I came from El Salvador. I was born in El Salvador, and my mom left me when I was 6 years old to come here to give me a better life, and eventually come here. So, I had to wait it out, and I had my moments, as you read in there, I was a little rebellious, and I came here when I was 15. I immigrated to this country. This is everyone's dream, in my country, to come here and make it. So that's why it's so important that I had to make it. This was the only country in the world that I was going to make it. So I said, might as well put the opportunity and take it to the top wherever I can, and I still feel like there's so much more to do.
Oh, yeah, and there is, and we're all young still. That's how I look at it. We got so much time. Gary Vee talks about it all the time. You're 40, who cares? You're just starting, man. Keep going.
I'm in my prime, bro. I see it in my prime.
Oh, no doubt, dude. I feel you, man. You're in the gym like you're in your prime, like you're Rocky.
I'm trying. Gotta stay active.
Yeah, no doubt. And so I know your story. You started in the game as somebody offered you to be a lot attendant, clean vehicles, do things like that. You're like, nah, man, I want sales, but you're aggressive. You went out almost 2 hours away from where you live to even just try to get a job, and you finally got the opportunity, and then you got in it. Man, that's pretty awesome. Especially, I'm sure you had a friend. I think you said in the book.
God rest his soul. He took his own life at 33 years old. He was having some issues. And we were very tight in high school, and we're double dating. I met my wife in middle school. We ended up dating in high school. So that's how I met my wife. And he met his wife at the same time. So we kind of had that thing going, double dating and things like that. And we did a lot of things together. And he's the reason why I got into the car business. So unfortunately, things happen. So life happens, right? But some of us, it's just like you said, find your why, So that's why family, I believe, is so important to have, because it just keeps you grounded more,
Oh, yeah. And that's 100%. I'm sorry to hear about your friend. Lou and I, we've had some friends in this business, 17, 18 years we've been in it. And we've seen people come and go, whether it be, just in and out the business or just have issues, and things happen. This business brings a lot of different people into it, and we totally. And
I was a talented guy. Don't get me wrong, but because I was talented, I was a fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't disciplined. I wasn't disciplined at all. I was just like, I'm the top guy. Who cares? They got to put up with my shit. Blah blah blah. And you know what happened? I lost it all. By this time, if I would have kind of had that mindset change, I'll probably be able to retire by now, Fred.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But shit happens, and that's the reason I went out and went crazy on social media, because I don't want the new kids to go through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? Because they will go through it. Those things will be putting them, you know, they're going to have temptation. They're going to have drugs. They're going to have alcohol, all that stuff exposed to them. And if they choose that route, you see where it ends. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
It is huge.
Because there's so many people that aren't being considerate towards succession and people coming up behind them. You know, not only did you not have many people to direct you just in your personal life and then jumping into the car business, but if you had a good car guy that was able to father you and say, hey, this is what you need to be paying attention to. You know, right now we have the ability with all the social media, with all the resources that we have to be able to invest into this generation that's coming behind us and say, hey, you can actually have way greater than just going to the lot and just selling your few cars and just hitting your minimums and just making, you know, trying to maybe get to six figures. There's so much more beyond that. And that's what Solutionaries do. That's why it's important that people like you break the cycle. I mean, I know your time is very important. So, you know, we'll get on ramble mode and just talking about, you know, the similarities that we have, but we can have that conversation over a slice of pizza. But there is so much that is needed right now with our resources that the only way that we're actually going to properly insulate ourselves for success for the future, that's to properly raise up the generation behind us. And you're doing that right now. I honor that. We appreciate that. And we definitely see it. And we definitely wish that we had other people that were that considerate coming up. Because just like you, we'd be in a whole different place if we had somebody to really grab us up and say, hey, you need to be getting ready for these things. These are the things you need to look out for. But the business back then was, let me push you down so that I don't get highlighted in how much I'm not doing my job.
That's right.
Let me hold you back so that it doesn't get shown that I'm not actually being productive with what it is that I have in front of me. But instead, now we get to say, hey, look, we're being productive.
Yep.
Be productive too. Do these things. Use these tools. This is an all-you-can-eat buffet. You know. I mean, it's
you know, and the business, Lou, has been good to me. You know what I mean? So I've done everything because of this business. I am this business. You know, I accomplished everything through this business. So I would do it. You know, I would spend another $200,000 on a conference to do it. Even if I don't make a nickel, it doesn't matter to me. As long as this one person's mindset gets changed and they can have a better life, I'll do that all day long, man, because this business has been good and continues to be good to me. So I always going to give back no matter what.
So, I mean, I'm a high school and college dropout. You know what I mean? The Army did good for me, but I didn't know where to go after that. I don't have any skills. You know what I mean? I'm not educated. We're self-educated, us car guys. But let me see. Are we jumping on question number 3?
Yeah, question number 3.
Question number 3 with Brew.
So, you know, obviously we talked about, you know, you had a friend that got you into the business. As you were growing up in this business, I know you're a trailblazer, you're a pioneer, you tried a lot of things that no one else was doing, but who was your biggest influence? Who made you go, man, I can do that?
Wow, that's, I don't, in the car business, you mean?
Car business, to say. Yeah, I know there's probably a lot of people who influenced you over the years, but there's definitely somebody in the car business that made you go, or maybe somebody you looked up to and were like, man, I want to wear that same kind of gear. I want to, you know, have that same swag as him. You know what I mean? Or somebody
I can't remember of a guy that influenced me that much. I did have certain people in the dealership itself because I was there for a long time. You know, I was kind of like born there as a salesman, right? I became a salesman. So there was one guy there that was there for years, and the store has gone through different ownership, but he kept staying there. His name was Mike Scharf. And old Jewish man, he's retired now. He was there for 30 years since he retired, and he used to tell me stories, and I learned a lot from him. You know, how to be firm, how to not take crap from people in a way. So I would say him because he was very influenced with me. We were salesmen neck and neck together. Then I became his sales manager. Then became his GM. I became his boss. And the respect level that he had for me, kind of like, you know, it was like for everybody else. So if he respected me, I earned his respect, and everyone kind of like bowed down because of him, because he was very influential at the dealership. And we both had a very respect level. And he used to put out the numbers all the time. And, you know, he used to do, he wouldn't question if I asked him to do. So if it was that one person, I would say it would be him. As far as style goes, you know, I'm flashy, I'm loud, I'm over the top. It's who I am. I'm never gonna change that, and I don't care what haters say or people say. I really don't care. Like, I learned how to just block that shit out. So, you know, and some of them, they just can't rock it like me. That's what it is. So I don't care what they say.
It's that confidence, man, and you have it. It pours out of you, and that's what's so wonderful. And that's what sales do to people. You know, when you become a good salesperson, man, there's something about that confidence. You walk in anywhere, and you feel like I feel like I can jump into anything and shut it down. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
the same way.
Exactly, and that's that swag about it. And you could wear anything. You could put on whatever you want, a hoodie with something and just a hat, and it's perfect because that's the right, you know. So that's the way to go, and you do a good job with that, man. I definitely love the swag. I definitely peep it out all the time. I'm always checking out your shoes. I'm like, okay, those are swag shoes right there.
Yeah, definitely. We got a little shoe thing going on. I think I'm up to like 78 pairs now.
Yeah, bro. I'm a big shoe guy myself. You should see my shoe closet. It's unreal. But yeah, man. You know, one more question from me, and then Lou's going to take over at 5. The 5th question. You know, we all have core values. You know, we all have things that are really meaningful to us. If I was to ask you a list of 3 things that are your major core values, what would they be?
I would say integrity for sure.
Right.
It's my main one. You know, be true to yourself, right? Because people are very easy to be influenced by other people. You know, I pay attention. I check the news. I don't really watch it. But I check what's going on. You know, I know the oil today took a dive, right? And pay attention to that. So, and people don't love themselves, man. The third thing I would say, love yourself. You got to be able to love yourself to the point that you can't love other people unless you love yourself. You know what I'm saying?
You have to be selfish first to be able to pour out to other people. No doubt about it.
And some people take that the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to say, is this okay with me? Meaning, would you allow someone to do that to you? You know, be treated as you want to be treated, right? And treat others like you want to be treated. So I think that's important. Core value for me. You know, I always give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? People are going to hang themselves. I give them the rope, but they're going to hang on themselves. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to judge you for what people tell me or anything like that, because there's a lot of people going to say things, but I'd rather get to know you for the person than who you are, right? When I first got to Brooklyn, me and the owner, right, my partner there, we totally the opposites, right? We're in the same way. Meaning we're both Capricorns and we both have very strong personalities, and everybody said there's no way these two are going to get along, right? And they said things about me, and I said, you know, people called me about him, and I sat down with him and I said, hey, what's up? It's like, oh, I heard this, I heard that. I said, look, I heard a lot of things about you. You heard a lot of things about me. I said, I want to get to know the real Bobby, the real you, and I want you to get to know the real Rudy. Forget about El Patronn and all that stuff. I said, I want you to get to know Rudy. Right, because we all have walls, and we all put up those walls because certain people's intentions might not be the same. And we built this nice relationship, even to this day. You know, yesterday was Easter, his week Easter, and I texted him for Easter, and we're still cool. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're not working together per se, but to build that relationship, I always say, don't judge a book by its cover, because you don't know. You know, some people judge you for the chapter they met you, right? But they don't really get to start the book from the beginning. And those are the things that I always pay attention to. So I'm never going to judge you or things like that, what people say. I want to get to know the person for who they are, because I've never been in your shoes, right? So I don't know why you do things the way you do. So people haven't been in my shoes for them to realize why I think the way I think, or why I am the way I think, like my why and things like that. So, or my history, where I come from and why I don't drink anymore. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So people are not going to understand that unless I explain to them why. So I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. That was a perfect answer. That's a great story. I think that's something that can inspire somebody to sit there instead of judging somebody up because of what they heard about them. They need to go sit down and have a combo with them. And you did the right thing. And what that partnership turned into was a beautiful thing. You turned that store and, I mean, month after month after month, number one. Yep. I remember the month that you lost it, and it broke my heart even. I was like, no! But it was all right. One goal. And just like you say in your book, you gotta understand failure. You gotta have failure sometimes in order to be able to keep growing, right? And it's okay, because if you're always winning, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's not fun anymore.
It becomes
and I learned from that, I learned from it. Most people don't realize that failure is part of the process. You got to learn to accept it and learn from it. And even I said to them, when I posted that video that I'm leaving Brooklyn, I said, it could be the worst mistake ever that I ever made, but I said, it's still going to be a win because I learned what I learned through it. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going through. And I made the decision no matter what, like it was my gut decision and that's what it was. And now we're here, you know what I'm saying? People's like, oh, wow. Like,
I love it.
There was a lot of people that were inspired by it, and people thought I was crazy because I'll never get that deal again. But it's okay, you know what I mean? Like you have to take that leap of faith.
You're a trailblazer, man. That's why you do things that other people aren't doing. You're going to the West when no one else was. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I appreciate that because once again that inspires me, man, big time. Lou, let's go ahead and hit him with the fifth question.
All right, here we go. All right, so there's many layers that I kind of pack on to this last question.
Okay.
Because for everybody that is listening and everybody that is watching, there's so much that he just poured out for everybody to get into their cup. There's so many solutions that you can sip on based off of what Rudy just said. Now, talking to Rudy, I understand. And talking with all these solutionaries, we find out that we're moving inside of the same frequency. We have a very similar rhythm, a very similar cadence or heartbeat that we have about our flow inside of what it is that we do. That's how the world has brought us together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even on a Zoom, that's how
law of attraction
brought together.
That's right.
So now inside of that, there's certain elements that we each have. Me, I'm definitely a dreamer, but I'm a hard worker. You are both of you, great hard workers and also dreamers. Now there's a place that gets kind of lost inside of being a dreamer and being in fantasies. You know what I mean? The Bible even says, those that work their land have abundant food, but those who chase fantasies have no sense. You have worked your field. This is our field. The automotive industry, this is our field, okay?
Right.
When we work our field, we have abundant food. When we just wait for our field to just pop it up, and all of a sudden there's fruit there, and we get to bask in that and eat on that, that's great. But when something like this epidemic or this pandemic happens, we then have to find a way to work our field, to work our land. And inside of that, you're doing that constantly. And that's, again, why you're on the show. There's so much that so many car guys and car gals have to be able to pour into other people that we want to make sure that we're getting those people together to keep encouraging and pouring into others. Now, you have many aspects. You have some core values. You have things that are deeply ingrained inside of who it is that you are. What would you say when talking to, if you can tell people going into the places that you've gone into? I mean, you've addressed negatives and you brought a positive out of it. You've built relationships. You've brought success. You've learned from your failures. But through all of those things, what would you say is the key ingredient inside of the brew that is El Patronn or Rudy that has made you successful up to this point?
There's a few key values, obviously, but the one thing that sticks to me is like I'm relentless, man. I'm relentless with everything. When I put my mind onto something, I take massive action, right? we're all dreamers, right? But we can all dream all we want. But if there's no action behind it, when I say I'm going to take this social media thing and I'm going to do it, I don't care how many people think I'm a clown and this and that, and they still call me those names till this day. But I don't care. I live in a $2 million house. You know what I'm saying? They can say whatever they want to say. And when I ask for abundance, right? I ask for abundance because, people say, oh, you might be a greedy guy or whatever, right? Money might not be the main thing. You understand? But you can do a lot with money. You can help a lot of people with money. When you have abundance, you can, a lot of people, I'm still supporting till this thing going on because there's people that depend on my abundance that I have. And maybe that's why I have it, because I always ask for it, not because I want to have a fly car or whatever, but when things like this happen, I'm able to bless other people that don't have the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I am relentless when it comes to that. My work ethics, nobody's going to outwork me in the car business, at least here in New York. Nobody's going to outdo me. You know what I'm saying? When I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it. Most people say, I want this, I want that, and they're waking up at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, in the morning. So like it doesn't add up with the core values that you're saying. You're saying one thing, but your action says otherwise. So the opportunities that have come out of this are endless, right? And yeah, listen, everybody wants financial freedom, right? That's what we all want, right? Because at one point, I don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to retire in 10 years. In 10 years, I want to be flying all over the world with my wife when my kids are already grown. So that's my goal. So just because it wants, I have a deadline and I drive and I always write my goals just like you do, right? I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to be that. And it's good to have goals, but you also have to make sure that you are going towards that goal. If it's not working, change it, but you never change the goal. You might change the approach, but the one thing is that I'm relentless when it comes to anything I put my mind to it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted this dealership and it was hard to get. It was one of the hardest ones to get. And there was people, if you notice that when you're looking for something, you can't find it, right? Or the hardest one to get is always the one that is like the hardest, all the obstacles you got to go through. And I went through a lot of obstacles just to get this deal. But you know what? I stayed on it. And at the end, it prevailed. God is good, man. When you ask for things, you have to ask him in existence and that it's going to happen, right? He made that promise. And I always stay on that promise. And my faith is very strong ever since I became a believer. And I believe in that promise, man. So, but you always still got to do your part. You can't just pray and say, oh, yeah, this is going to happen. You got to do your part. Like you said, work your field. So I'm in an industry where I'm very influential in the industry. And there's a lot of vendors that call me on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And, my opinion means a lot to them, right? So all these things are coming out. Hey, what do you think? Try it out and this and that. And that was a testament to me that everything that I was doing, it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? So if I can change a little bit of the culture, if I can change the game, like a game changer, like they call it, right? Like I call it, they call me that. Because I want to change the game, and the people that are crazy enough to change the world, they want to do it, man. I want to change the industry. I want to change the negativity stigma that's on it. That's why even to this day, I'm not giving up, and I'm not going into negativity because it's very easy to just say, yeah, COVID is here, we're done, right? But I'm not going to. There's still people buying. There's still customers sending leads, right? Our submission leads us through the roof. So they got to be somebody there to do it. So that's the thing, man. You got to be relentless when it comes to goal oriented. So, write down your goals, but go after them and actually chase them, take action, right? Most people don't take actions on how to achieve their goals. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be your weight, it could be financial, it could be anything, your relationship with your wife, whatever. I'm going on 21 years, so I must be doing something right.
That's right.
That's right. You are, man.
I'm going on 21.
Listen, most of us, right, we forget how we got her to begin with, right? We think because 20 years later, she's mine, whatever. I still do those things to this day that I did in 99, 98, where people's like, how? You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens. People forget how they got the girl. They don't do those little things, silly things anymore. I still do those silly things. I don't care. I'll still continue to do them until the day I die with her because those are the things I liked her to begin with about me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Most guys forget that.
Hey, that's so right, because it's not about just being gung-ho at just work, because if your family life is suffering, then work is going to eventually suffer too. You got to have a balanced life. You got to have that balanced wheel.
Yes.
Right, and you're so right on that, man. And I know that you're a fan of the 10 times thing, man, and you massive action, 100%. And that's exactly the philosophy I've fallen into, and I'm trying to do it every week more and more. I'm adding to my schedule.
Because you know why? Because we're all talented, but it wasn't adding up, right? I was good at making money, but I wasn't good at all these other things, financially. And yeah, you can have money, but if your relationship sucks, then what's the difference, man? I'm not here to judge, right?
That's right.
Everything has to add up. You got to be congruent. So your family, your life, your connections, right? Forgiveness, things like that. Like I don't hold grudges on people anymore, man. Those things don't bother me anymore. And I still have haters and all that. And you know what? I'll still continue to like them because one day they'll turn into fans. You know what I'm saying? So they're just confused a little bit or whatever because they see me out there, but whatever. It is what it is. You gotta respect people's opinion. And I don't grind on your hustle. You got your hustle, so why you messing on my thing? You know what I'm saying? This is my hustle. This is what I do to make a living for my family, right? So I follow Gary Vee. I follow all these guys. So you see all these guys on social media, right? I don't. That's their grind. That's their hustle. So I'm not gonna, day in day parade. because that's what works for them. So find what works for you and kill it. And that's exactly what I did.
You do it, and you do it very well.
All good.
Do it very well.
Rudy, and car guys and car gals, I'm not cutting you off, Fred, but I want to make sure that we grab onto all of this good stuff that's coming out of his mouth right now. Everything that he's saying is stuff that you guys need to deposit deep. So many of us get worried about what other people think of us based off of how much money we have, what we drive, where we live, all these other things. All these things are great blessings that we have. But again, I'm a believer. So I believe that seed goes into the hand of the sower. And it's impossible for you to be able to actually see a good harvest if you're not putting seeds into the ground. And seed is given to the sower. So if somebody like Rudy, like Fred, like myself, and like others have good seed, we then pour that seed out without trying to make sure that we get credit for what seed it is. You're not supposed to let the left hand know what the right hand's doing. It's not about people seeing what it is that you bless others with. It's that you have the opportunity to fit that need at that moment. There are so many people that are in need. There's so many people that want. And even inside of our industry, we receive a great reward for what it is that we do. But sometimes we're taking that garbage deal. Sometimes we're losing money. Sometimes it's costing us money in order to do business to help somebody else out. And in a lot of cases, people they always think that we're making too much money, no matter where it is that we are on our deal.
Yep.
But seed goes into the hand of the sower. And Rudy is sowing seeds into the industry, not just him, not just his dealership, not just the people that he sits down inside of a meeting inside of his dealership. It's not just them that are receiving. Because he has great seed, he is finding many good places to sow the seed. And he's not responsible. We are not necessarily responsible for the ground that we sow it into.
That's right.
We ourselves are the ground. So I determine whether or not I'm going to be good soil for you to deposit into, for you to say, hey, Lou, here's a quick nugget. Hey, conference, here, this is what's going on, guys. It's up to you now as I throw these seeds out there and sprinkle them out there for you to take it, for you to apply it, and for you to water it, and for you to nurture it. And from that point forward, it's a cultivation of good coffee beans. You know what I'm saying? Things that are raising everybody up.
I love it. You tied it to coffee.
We have to, man.
There's so many coffee correlations that we bring together. We brew together.
Right on the money, Lou. Right on the money.
Put that in your cup
and sip on it.
That's right. So, yeah, and he's so right. Rudy, I'm going to throw a passage from your book really quick, and I think it kind of talks about what's going on. People will do one of two things when they see you are excelling in life. They will be inspired, or they will be jealous. I'm inspired, my friend. You've inspired me since the first time I've seen anything you do, man, and just keep inspiring us. We appreciate you knocking out this 5-liner with us. We're gonna take a quick break, and then if you have time, we have one more section we like to go through with you. It's fresh news.
Yeah, we got time.
All right, cool. All right, we're gonna take a quick break and be right back.